Have you ever poured your heart out and got nothing back? No closure, just... If that's you, don't scroll by. Stay here, because what if the silence wasn't rejection, but divine redirection? Stay tuned, because I have some practical encouragement here for you today. Shakira, and this is the very first love letter from Love Story 365, a sacred space for hearts that still believe in a God-written love story. And today's message, it might just be the word that your heart's been waiting for. So stay with me till the end, because there's a blessing, special blessing, waiting on you with your name on it. You see, this love letter is to the one who gave their heart and got silence in return. This love letter is for you. Yes, I'm talking to you. If you're still staring at your phone screen, you're rereading a message that they never answered, if your heart is still holding onto a moment that felt like it meant something only to be met with quietness, I need you to know something. Your love is not less real just because it wasn't received. Your vulnerability is not foolish. In fact, it's actually quite exquisite. And the silence, guess what? It wasn't rejection. It just might have been protection, a pause with purpose. It just might be a whisper from heaven saying, that door doesn't lead to the kind of love you're born for. I hope you receive this message, because it's written like a love letter from my heart to yours. So I don't know about you, but there are times when I'm going through certain things that I feel like no one understands. I mean, does that sound familiar to you? Or if you've ever longed for a word that speaks directly to your situation, I'm here to tell you, you're in the right place. These are heart whispers for those of you walking through great heartbreak, silent seasons, and even tender transitions. I'm inviting you to take a little break and to hang out with me for a few moments, because today's love letter is for the one that gave their heart and got silence in return. Is that you? Well, if that's true, this love letter is just for you. You see, trust me, I know what it's like to replay every message, to reread every text, or to hold on to a moment that felt like it meant something, only to be met with silence. I personally know what it's like to retrace every step, wondering if you were too much, or better yet, here's a familiar one, not enough. You end up being left wondering, was I too deep? Was I too eager? Too everything. But I'm here to break that thought pattern with you here today. Their silence doesn't mean you're unworthy. In fact, it doesn't mean you're unlovable. It also doesn't mean the love that you offered them wasn't pure. And if I can offer you a different perspective today, I want you to know, what if their silence was a stop sign to protect you from a version of love that was ill-equipped to hold your level of greatness? Because here's a simple truth. Some people go silent because they were never meant to speak into your future. They were never meant to speak into your life. So think of it like this. They were a paragraph, not a chapter. A comma, not a full sentence. And others disappear not because you weren't worthy, but because they simply weren't ready or able or meant to be long-term. And I want you to come close. Come real close and hear me when I tell you this. There's nothing wrong with you. Did you hear what I said? I want you to take a deep breath and let those words sink in for a minute, because I'm going to repeat it again. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you for desiring love. And even in the sight of God, you're perfect. Now, are there parts of you still becoming and being refined? But of course. But I feel very strongly that love is being prepared for you. And guess what? And it won't meet your vulnerability with silence. So you came close one time before. I need you to come closer again, because I need you to hear me when I say, real love won't make you guess or second guess yourself. And guess what? It won't ghost you either. The one meant for you will recognize you and respond to you accordingly. But until then, I'm asking you to keep your heart open, because there's healing in continuing to hope. And I know, I already know what you're thinking. I can feel you saying, but Shakira, what makes you the person to talk about this? What heartbreaks have you experienced? Unfortunately, too many to count. But there was one in particular, as painful as it was, It launched me into choosing and loving myself in a way I'd never done before. I actually created a mantra, one that guided me through my healing process, and I still use it today. And it was, I choose myself and I choose well. And I want you to feel free to use it and see if it'll help you. So let's repeat it again. I choose myself and I choose well. There are a few other things that I did to help me that as you continue watching, I'll be sharing. So make sure you stick around to the end. And I absolutely found comfort in the scriptures because Psalms 147:3, it was a lifeline for me. That scripture, it carried me through, and it says, He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. And interestingly enough, not sure if you're familiar, but the poet Rumi once said, the wound is the place where the light enters you. And I couldn't agree with this more. And so, as I did, and I hope you will too, allow God to illuminate and fill you with love and light so that you can radiate and shine bright. Now, science is starting to catch up, and it is also now confirming what the scribes and the scriptures have said for centuries. There was a recent study reported in the Neuroscience News that oxytocin, which is dubbed as the love hormone, it can regenerate heart tissue after an injury. And love, especially the love that you have for yourself, it has the potential to heal your broken heart. So again, we want to allow God to gather what feels scattered. We want to allow God to cradle what someone else couldn't or wouldn't carry. And during this time, I want you to know that you're allowed to grieve what you feel like you've lost and what may never be. This is an opportunity for you to give yourself space and grace to do so. One of the ways in which I suggest doing this is processing how you feel. I actually do this whenever I go through something. I turn on my phone, my camera, and I talk. And I talk about the situation. I talk about how it makes me feel. I get it all out. Sometimes, depending upon the situation, I may even put the picture of the person or a picture of the thing. And it's as if I'm talking to them where I physically cannot. I'm talking to them on the phone. I'm talking to them through my phone, but I'm getting it all out. I'm expressing how I feel. I'm expressing how the situation made me feel and what I thought about it. And you see, in doing this, no one is going to cut you off. You're not going to end up being gaslit, but you're giving yourself all the time you need to say what needs to be said. And you're giving yourself the closure that you need, because sometimes you may not get closure from the other person, but this allows you to give yourself the closure that you actually need. Close the door yourself. The thing about letting it all out, you end up making room for something else. And I'm at the age and space in my life where I truly believe God will write a new sentence in our stories. And these sentences will be filled with honor, truth, and reciprocity. And in ancient metaphysical teachings, it is said that love is not lost. In fact, it's transmuted. What you give in love is never wasted. It is returned, and often in unexpected ways and in divine timing. And even scripture confirms this for us in Romans 8:28, which is a familiar passage, that we know that all things work together for the good of them that love God and to them who are called according to his purpose. So listen, you didn't lose, you sowed. And your harvest will come. And anything sowed in negativity, today we call forth crop failure. So now, if you're listening and you're thinking, man, I really needed this word today, I want you to let me know in the comments. And while you're at it, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, I want you to go ahead and do that now too. And that way you'll know every time we bring something new here to Love Story 365. And if you're watching and you have some encouraging tips on how you handled a breakup that helped you, feel free to share them below, because from your experience, you may have something to benefit someone else. And you know what? We're all in this together. Additionally, if there's a topic that you wish someone would speak to, or even a love letter that your heart is craving, drop that down below as well, because I might just write the next love letter for you. So back to this love letter. You thought you gave your heart and got silence in return. You thought you got silence when in reality, you received a gift. It may feel quiet now, but be encouraged. God is still writing your love story, and your love story matters. No matter what you're thinking right now, your love story matters. And so I'm checking in with you. Are you still hanging with me? Because I have something else that I want you to try before we close. I want to invite you into something that I did recently that changed me. It's simple, but it's not light. And when it happened, I just sat with it. I wasn't trying to analyze it. I just let it rise in my body. And what I felt, it was heavy, but it wasn't burdensome. It was special. It was my love. It was my power and my greatness. And all of it had a presence. And it was like gravity. And it actually felt like I was meeting myself for the first time. So if you've given your heart and it's been met with silence, I invite you to come back home to yourself for a moment. I invite you to come back home. If you'll indulge me for a moment, I'm inviting you to place your hand on your chest and to close your eyes. And once you have your hand on your chest and you've closed your eyes, just ask gently, can I feel the weight of my own love? Then just breathe and let whatever rises, let it rise. You might cry, you might smile, you may not even feel anything at first, and that's okay, because this isn't about performance as much as it is about presence. And maybe, just maybe, you'll begin to remember the kind of love that you carried and that it deserves to be honored and protected. I don't know if y'all can see this, but I feel it. You want to allow the weight of your own love to heal your broken heart. And listen, when I did this, even when I'm doing it now, I'm blown away. So I have to know what your experience is like when you do this. So please put it in the comments below, because I look forward to seeing what your experience is like doing this exercise. And if you're still watching, and before we wrap up, I'd like to speak a blessing over your life, if I can. So I bless you now in the name of love, our God, who sees your heart and collects your tears, and is mindful to write a story with hands both mighty and merciful. For surely the arm of the Lord is not too short to save, nor his ear too dull to hear. May this word find the hidden aches and pour in love and healing. May you start to have hope again. I speak to your heart and I bless it to stay open, but now with wisdom to know what is true. May you learn to wait well and be wrapped in grace as your love story unfolds. So let it be, and so it is. If this spoke to you, will you consider subscribing and then sharing this with someone who may need a little extra hope today? Throughout our time today, I want you to let me know what resonated with you the most. So that's today's love letter. I invite you to keep it close. And if you ever forget how worthy you are of a good, God-written love story, come back and listen again. I'll be right here. You're not waiting in vain. You are waiting in faith. And faith, it never returns empty. Until we meet again, write love into your day today. Believe big and allow the author and the finisher of our faith to handle the rest. With all my love.